All right, I have to start this over because my computer froze. They're talking about the bridge. Okay. Um, before we listen to that, I want to show you something here. Um, where is it? But here's Biden. Boy, is he out of it, man. All kinds of shit going on in the world. Over here in America, we're fighting with each other. All right, listen to this. City Observatory. Oregon and Washington DOTs plan too low a bridge. I brought this up previously, and the DOTs falsely claim that an I-5 movable span would be the world's largest. Several Portland bridges already open as wide as the I-5 bridge. Okay, so they did the same thing in 2000, 10 years ago with the other bridge project, CRC. So here's the story. For the past 3 years, Oregon and Washington have been trying to revive plans for the CRC corruption, a massive freeway project between Portland and Vancouver. Blah, 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 blah. The height of these bridges will be determined by the U.S. Coast Guard. In June, the Coast Guard issued its preliminary navigation clearance determination, saying the bridges would have to at least preserve the current navigational clearances of 178 vertical space. That immediately threw a wrench into the DOT plans to build a span with 116 feet of. Now, you know why this is shocking? Because this is what happened 10 years ago. So they did it again, okay? They did the exact same thing again. Blah, blah, blah. The Interstate Bridge Replacement Project is hoping to get the Coast Guard to back down, in part by saying it would be impossible to build a lift span to provide the Coast Guard's requirements. IBR Administrator Johnson testified that if the Coast Guard required the I-5 bridge to be built with a lift span, it would be the largest structure in the world. Okay, we don't need to read that. And this turns out to be not true. In fact, there are other lift spans in Portland that are as large or larger than would be needed to include a lift span on the I-5. But Administrator Greg Johnson's claim is ominous and vague. The determination is made by the Coast Guard. All right, so what you have here is another. You can read this. This is a city observatory. You can read this for yourself. But what we have here is what I call a very clear example of corruption again. It's corruption. Okay. A decade ago, Washington and Oregon departments tried to force the Coast Guard to agree to a fixed I-5 bridge with just 95 feet. Balancing needs of road users, though, not a legal standard applied by the Coast Guard, which prioritizes rivers. So, the IBR team has no plans to seek a bridge before 25 and thereby seems intent on repeating this mistake forward with attempts to convince the Coast Guard to approve and lower navigation clearance while spending tens of millions of dollars that planning a bridge that will not meet the requirements. So what do they do here? They have guaranteed themselves tens of millions more dollars to replan it again. Okay, and I don't want to read the whole thing to you because it's going to cost them millions of dollars to redo this whole thing. Now that's corruption or ignorance, okay? Either this guy Johnson is a liar or he's an incompetent fool. And either way, he should be fired, but he won't be. So read this article, city commentary, cityobservatory.org. Okay. You can read it for yourself how they did the exact same thing they did last time. And now they have to replan it. And it's going to cost millions and millions of dollars and delay the whole thing. So I feel like it's all corrupt And it is corrupt because we live in a society that's completely corrupt now, run by corrupted technocrats like this Greg Johnson guy. They put these black faces in there and expect us to just buy all the bullshit because there's black faces. Well, I know better than that. And speaking of black faces, this cartoon got me in trouble with some of my buddies over on Twitter because it depicted Shirley as a monkey holding on to Tarzan. Well, it's not meant to be racist. What it's meant to do is show that Sam has rescued Shirley, and Shirley's the subservient to Sam. Okay, it does kind of look funny, I suppose, but that wasn't the intent, okay, of being racial. So I want to make that clear. This is not a racist thing. This is showing Sam is running the show. Okay. Anyway, enough of that.
Local preferred alternative of the Interstate Bridge replacement program. Mr. General Manager, your comments, please.
Yeah, thanks, President Simmons, members of the board. At last month's board briefing, you were provided a presentation about the Interstate Bridge replacement program, and then all of the work and bi-state collaboration that has gone into it.
And all for nothing. All for nothing. They did it again. They actually did the same thing again. And so let's listen to his bullshit because we already know now whatever he's saying is a lie.
Referred to as IBR, the program intends to replace the existing I-5 bridge across the Columbia River with a modern, seismically resilient multimodal structure. Planning work built on previous Columbia River crossing projects efforts. In coordination with governmental and community partners, the IBR team developed updated design options, desired outcomes, and transit investments. The IBR team has now identified a modified locally preferred alternative, or LPA. It includes a transit investment preference for light rail.
Nobody wants that. That's being shoved down their throats. Here's another example of elites shoving it down your throat, whether you like it or not. It's just what we live with now. Elites shoving all this shit in our face, whether we like it or not.
The preference was developed with regional governmental partners. These include Oregon, Washington, Portland, Vancouver, local counties.
No, not Vancouver. They voted no. They voted no. They want a public vote on this. Okay, so he's lying. He's lying again. Vancouver City Council said we want a public referendum on this before we go forward. So he's lying.
Stakeholder and community comments and also objective data were included during these conversations. Yeah. Community engagement showed a widespread support for expanding public transit and light rail transit in particular.
Lie. That's a bold-faced lie, folks. That is a bold-faced lie. The community does not want that. So he is a liar. Well, I already know that. He's a liar. He's a liar about all kinds of things. But he's got a black face, so I can't say that, right?
Which we heard from this morning's testimony. An extension of the Max Yellow Line from Expo Center into Vancouver is the best way to integrate with existing transit investments in the region. These include C-Trans Vine Bus Rapid Transit Network and express bus services. The proposed Evergreen Terminus in Vancouver via an I-5 alignment is considered the best opportunity to merge the two metro areas' transit systems. The LPA will be further analyzed in a supplemental draft environmental impact statement to comply with the National Environmental Policy Act. The IDR program budget is expected to range from $3.2 billion to $4.8 billion. Although TriMet is committed to serve as a program partner, there's no commitment of TriMet funds at this time.
Oh, that's good.
All partner.
All right, thank God for that at least, okay? Thank God for that. At least you don't have to worry about more money being wasted by your transit district into shit that's not going to help riders.
Rules are necessary for the modified LPA to be approved for the program to continue. If the board chooses not to adopt this resolution, the program will and would experience significant delays and miss key deadlines that both Oregon and Washington requires as conditions of state funding. Therefore, I recommend your approval.
And obviously it will be approved.
Linda, you're muted.
Come on,
Is
Linda.
there a motion to approve? So moved. Lori? Thank you, Director Bauman. Is there a second?
Second, Kim.
Thank you, Director Kim. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or discussion with the board?
Yes, I'll make a comment.
Okay.
I understand we received written testimony on this as well. I understand all of us have reviewed that. And just wanted the confirmation from Sam that, although I am for this resolution, that our team will continue to work with the underlying, the differences in opinions and underlying alleged issues that are proposed by the testimony moving forward, so that we can continue to improve as an agency and make sure that we're, as we discussed briefly earlier, not wasting our resources, but are maximizing all of our dollars.
Absolutely, Director Kim, and the IBR team, our project team, we're working with all of those individuals. And just to also let you know, I sit on the executive steering committee as the principal representing TriMet.
Thank you, Sam.
First, Director Gonzalez, and followed by Director Bauman.
Thank you, President Simmons. To all of the agencies, the public, I know this is a long process in the making, and I understand this project has a long history. What we have before us today is the conclusion of a long series of conversations and coordination across many agencies and stakeholders. We have tried many versions of this particular project over time, and I'm glad to see that we are finally at a place where we...
Guess what's going to... Well, I guess Oregon and Washington are pretty much Democratic, but I don't know, man. I mean, people are pretty fed up with Democrats at this point. So Republicans could actually move in here at some point and change all of this. I mean, these are one of the few things that I actually agree with the Republicans on, is this whole light rail fixation. It's frail. It fails. It's not a good mode of transportation. Okay, those of us who follow TriMet daily know that there's a dozen goddamn disruptions every day. It's completely unreliable. Bus rapid transit would have been the way to go here, because it's first of all, it's cheap. It's like nothing to put in, costs zero, so there's no pork barrel for the light rail mafia. And if one bus breaks down, the other bus can go right by it. So yeah, this is bad. I know people in Vancouver don't want this, but what the people want doesn't count anymore.
We've reached enough alignment that we're here at this stage. I simply want to acknowledge that...
No, the only alignment you have is that because you have the Democrats in charge. Okay, you don't have the people. You have the Democrat elites are now running the show, and they trickle down all the way to the light rail mafia. They're all part of that same criminal organization.
That we are, from my perspective, in a position where we're looking at a project that is not perfect, but it's something, and it's something we have been needing for a long time. There are things that I wish this project would be able to bring forward.
And on top of it all, they plan on tolling you. So not only are they forcing the light rail down your throat, and they're getting billions of tax dollars for this thing, but they're going to make average Joe pay to use it. So, I mean, it's an abomination on many, many levels.
And I know that we're not done with design. We still don't know what the full price tag is going to be of this thing. I have concerns about going this far in a process where we don't have that certainty, but I come from the design world, so I know this is normal. However, I would want to simply point out that we've got ourselves a project before us that is going to have major impacts in our region during the course of the construction. Its sustainability, as important as it is, has not been as advanced in this project. I think the long history of this project didn't allow us to take advantage of ideas and conversations that have come to play today. And we're carrying with this project a lot of the baggage of conversations we had before us. So without trying to derail a long process here, I wanted to go on record acknowledging that though I realize this is not a perfect project, we're all having to come to some sort of compensating in what we thought we would be getting out of this. I am glad to see that TriMet is at the table, that public transit is part of the formula, and that we're at this place where the agencies are willing to move forward with something. So I, out of protest, do not support this, but I also am not interested as a board member to stop a process that is so much bigger than our agency alone. So I wanted to put that on record and thank you for bringing it to us today.
Thank you, Director Gonzalez. Director Bauman?
Yes, I just wanted to say very quickly, as a TriMet board member, my focus in looking at this LPA approval is the transit piece of it. That's the part that is within our concern. And so I did want to emphasize that I'm very happy to see Exhibit A that lays out the TriMet's conditions to ensure that this project optimizes TriMet performance, optimizes our financial status, and really is in the best interest of TriMet's customers. And because we've stated those conditions, I think that it's appropriate to go ahead and approve this LPA. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Bauman. Yeah, I think I said this once we had the presentation on the Interstate Bridge project. But what strikes me is something that another individual mentioned, a community member, in terms of our public testimony, is we have to address the steel bridge. We have to.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. Yeah, that would have been a good idea when they were building light rail. Put in a separate bridge for that, but no, they put in the People's Bridge instead. What a shit show your government is, folks.
Been on this board 5 years, and we've had conversations about going under the river, through Portland. I mean, building another bridge. We might increase capacity from Washington to Oregon, and they would be jammed up at the Rose Quarter.
No, you're not going to compete. No, that's ridiculous. It's not going to mean more people are coming in here.
So I know Sam knows that. I know staff know that, and I consider that one of the big hurdles that they're going to.
Okay, yeah. Her theory is build the bridge and more people will come here. That's ridiculous.
Have to address.
They already have two bridges to come in here. I-84 and what is it, 205? There's two different bridges that come into Portland. Oh, what happened? No.
Thank you, President Simmons. My only addition to what folks have shared, and I want to thank Director Kim for bringing up sort of that stakeholder, community engagement, continued conversation piece. But, I think it was at the last month's meeting, we've heard some community comments around really, building more of the community relationships that is just, again, so needed in a massive project like this. So General Manager Sue, I know some of those things were kind of directed towards like, hey, we community members want to meet with you, and perhaps you have already met those, have those meetings set up. But I think moving forward, again, meeting with partners, stakeholders, coalitions that are really, also, of course, transit focused and wants to see the best optimization of transit options for our regions really be centered more in the conversation. So I just want to put that out there. Thank you.
And I'll close with one final comment that if Director Edwards was here, he would probably make. So we've got the Interstate Bridge, the need to do something about the crossing of the river. And then we also have the Albina project and the changes to the Rose Quarter area of Interstate 5. And I'm sitting here thinking about all this stuff in play at the same time and just imagining, how difficult logistically that's going to be and the disruption it's going to be to commuters' lives. So, all right, let's go to the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
We're going to finish this up.
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing
Opposed.
none.
Oh,
Huh?
Opposed.
all
I had one
right.
opposed.
Yeah, boy, good for you. One person gets, I like it when they don't all go along. I hate it when they all go along with everything.
Okay, one opposed. Thank you so much for clarifying that, Director Gonzalez. So we have 4 in favor, 1 opposed. So motion carries. Next, we have the next resolution is 22-06-39, authorizing a personal service contract
Listen to this one. You're going to love this one.
with 5 vendors for temporary augmented staff services. Mr. General Manager, your comments, please.
Thanks, President Simmons. Members of the board, this next resolution addresses temporary staffing needs.
So they're not putting it up here, and I can't pull it up on the TriMet.org. But it's one hell of a pork thing here. Listen.
Within our engineering and construction and planning division, support staff is needed to augment current construction and project management services, supporting TriMet's capital and state of good repair program.
So now this is exactly what pisses me off. When you hear them whining about, we don't have the money, there's going to be a recession, we can't pay you. But then you hear this, they're not showing it on here for some reason. They're not showing the actual, it's not here. And I can't pull it up over here because TriMet.org has not updated its website. But it's a giant pork barrel. They're going to hire all these various consultants for millions of dollars for their capital projects. So don't tell me that they don't have money. Okay, because they do. They are lying. Okay, you just accepted a raise of 7.5% when inflation is 8.5%. Plus, you just accepted a raise which is going to give you 4.5% next year because the so-called government projections are going to say it's going to be less than that. I don't believe that for a second. I think you just lost money by going along with this with this proposal. And I think that the proof that they have money is always to look at the capital project side, which is booming with cash. The corruption is unbelievable, folks. And it's just like Biden trying to blame Putin. Sam is trying to blame recession, or the operator shortage. I really think Sam DeSue intentionally destroyed the operations side of TriMet so that he could maximize the capital project side of TriMet. Okay, I really believe this. I'm not making it up. I really believe it's true. And they're using as their cover the operator shortage because there's a labor shortage. And all of that shortage was created by the global elites who decided they were going to shut down the global economies. Okay, they are in the process of trying to squeeze us to death. So wake up and stand up for yourselves.
TriMet used a competitive request for qualification
But
process
they're not showing you
to
this.
select contractors to provide these temporary staff services. We would like to issue separate contracts to 5 firms to provide subcontracted employees for each of the requested positions for a total of 24 subcontracts.
So there's 24. They have money to spend on 24 subcontracts. Okay, think about that. They have all this money sitting there. They have so much money sitting there. Then they're not putting the resolution up on the board, which is, I find, very interesting, very intentional on their part, because we know how they operate. They operate secretly. They don't want people to know about this.
The total amount of each subcontract will not exceed $2.5 million over a term of no more than 5 years.
So $2.5 million for 24 contracts. You figure that out. Okay? And they just happen to have that money laying around. Okay, this is all comes out of your TriMet tax. Maybe they have matching funds somewhere, but some portion of all of this is coming out of your TriMet tax that you pay for transportation services.
Your approval of the resolution is recommended.
See, they don't put they didn't even put it up on the screen. They didn't even put the resolution up on the screen. And I can't pull it up on the website because it's not there. But this is, and they left the biggest pork barrel resolution to the very end of the meeting. I know they did this on purpose because I know how they operate, because I know nobody's going to get to this. Nobody's going to watch this all the way to the end like me. Who wants to watch this shit? Nobody.
Is there a motion to approve?
So that, 2.5 million times 24. So what is that? 50 million? It's something ridiculous. Just laying around to hire consultants so they can do more capital projects. It's a disgrace, folks. Wake up. You're being killed off by this guy. He's ruined your transit system in favor of capital projects. See, they don't have 300 operator vacancies. Equals $30 million that he can spend on other shit, and that's where it's going. Okay.
So moved, Kim.
Thank you, Director Kim. A second?
Wait, second.
Thank you, Director Wade. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or comments about this resolution?
Yeah, how about somebody ask a question? Come on. No?
Oops.
Not even a question?
This thing is hard. I see no hands raised, so we'll move to the vote. All in favor, please.
So they didn't even ask one question about this pork barrel contract. Not even one question.
Say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our last resolution is a discussion-only resolution, and it's 22-06-40. And so, as you know, at our last meeting in May, we as a board discussed that when in-person board meetings regularly...
Oh, look! How about that, ladies and gentlemen? They neglected to put the resolution up for the last one, the pork barrel giant, the $50 million. I had that posted on my blog somewhere. I should look that up. It was a tweet. They forgot to post that up there. But they posted this, okay? So you're going to try to convince me that this wasn't intentional, huh? Let me see here. Instead of, where's the goddamn? Let me see. Hold on. It was June. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see. Just hold on a minute. Let me expand this. I can't see. Okay, what's this one? Okay, that's something else. I get so much material from them because they're such crooks. Where am I? Okay, come on. Why? Here it is. I think it's why. Is this it? No, that's something else. Come on, where is it? Ah, here it is. This is it. Oh no, that's not it either. Damn it, man. I can't even find it. Who knows? I can't find it. Anyway, I did do a tweet about this, but I can't find the actual. I can't find the actual post. Oh, I'm in the wrong month. Let me try this one more time. One more time. Hold, stand by. I got so much great material here. Okay. Hold on. June. Come on. Yeah. Well, I better give up. What am I looking at here? I don't know. I can't find it. But anyway, this was a resolution for millions and millions of dollars that they've neglected to put on the screen during the discussion. And they don't have it posted on the TriMet site, but I did a tweet about it and I posted that tweet to the blog, but I can't find it because I can't find anything that I put up on the blog.
Resume, board members should continue to have the option to attend and participate remotely in certain circumstances. Those circumstances include illness, a family emergency, or excused absences. We all value our role on the TriMet board, and currently the board member code of conduct requires.
I mean, they just went right over that. They just skipped right over the biggest pork barrel resolution there was there, and they didn't even discuss it. Okay? This doesn't matter. The rest of this is irrelevant. Of course, they're going to approve this one. They're going to allow themselves to do whatever they want. And I had enough of their shit, okay? You're a disgrace, TriMet. The fact that you can't even keep your accountability center up to date shows how much of a disgrace you really are, I mean, I don't know. You're just an excuse about everything, man. You're a criminal organization. That's what you are. It's not there. May. Let's skip May. Let's just skip June. Not there. We don't want it there. We don't want anybody to see our fucking $50 million contract for a bunch of consultants we don't need.